Oh, boy, Mr. Wookie, I tell you what, you do so much better than that. Hey, everybody, it's Joe Joseph. It's Freaky Friday here on your Protection from Deception, TFRlive.com. Don't forget, TFRlive.com/chat. And you can be a Wookie, too, and join in the interactive happy action fun time going on in said Wookie Cave, Kev.
Happy action fun time. What on earth is that all about, Joe?
Hey, I couldn't think of anything else, so I kind of just winged it.
Well, it's going to be kind of different here tonight, folks. You know, we like a laugh and we like a joke. Yeah. But, you know, Whistles, he periodically, you know, comes onto the show because of ill health. You know, he's kind of fallen by the wayside. And right. Unfortunately, you know, Scotty, Joe.
Scotty, okay, yeah.
And Scotty asked me today if I would read out a status that he put up on Facebook.
Yeah,
because
please
because not all of the listeners use anti-social media. So right. Scotty Lopez, folks, he's not going to be here tonight, obviously. And Scott today posted, I'm not one for posting my issues on Facebook, but I'm probably going to be missing in action for a while. So I figured I'd fill you guys in. As you may or may not know, I have AMC and I'm bound to a wheelchair. Back in 2012, I had my left foot amputated due to circulation issues. Now, I knew that sometime down the road, I'd have to deal with the same thing in my right foot. Now that time has come, and I'm going to the doctor and having this addressed. After years of managing pain, swelling, and lesions, along with the ups and downs of my foot getting better only to go south again, I'm done with it. I'm not sure if they're going to admit me immediately or if I'm going to see a specialist, but either way, I'm 99% sure I'll be having surgery in the near future. Now, this is long overdue, and my quality of life will be greatly improved after this. There are so many projects and things I want to do, yet I'm unable to because the issues with my foot have pretty much dominated my life lately. Anyway, I'll keep everyone updated when I can, and I'll catch you on the flip side. And I believe it's next week Scott's going to be going into hospital. So I know all of you out there helped me when I was in hospital. You've helped Whistles. You've helped so many people. And I'm sure you won't mind sending some love and positive vibes out to Scotty. Because he's going to be sorely missed here, Joe. You know, I've only known him a couple of years. But he's absolutely never in a bad mood. You know, always, you know, willing to come on the show at the drop of a hat.
Impact. An inspiration, Kev. Really,
exactly,
really
dude. And he gives you know, the content that he brings as well with that kind of deeper knowledge on all the meteorological kind of stuff, as well as just being a good laugh. He's into our madness. Not many people can take our madness, Joe. But we're like a family,
it takes
right?
A very special person to be able to integrate.
Yeah, so we're like a family. So it's almost like losing a brother for a few weeks. But in the end of the day, like Scott says, there's a lot of things he wants to do. And this is, you know, in the long term, it's going to be the best thing.
Yeah, right. Well, it is what it is, and we wish him the best and send those positive vibes his way.
Absolutely.
And so to help us out tonight, my buddy John decided to hang out with us, so that'll be good. So John's here, and we'll be discussing a whole, a multitude, a cornucopia, if you will, of topics that will hopefully melt the mind, at least a little bit, I would have to say. So, hey, so we're going to start off with a little Pentagon woo today. And, of course, this kind of runs down the line of NASA. So it kind of boggles the mind that we even have to go here. Not only that, but I always wonder and I question why we look to the government for legitimacy when they lie to us all the time. It's
well, you see, Joe, you see,
like,
that's why
we do this.
You kind of, the horse kind of got out the stable there, because this is the kind of thing we were saying with Ryan Gable the other night, that me personally, right, big believer that there's life out there. There's definitely kind of craft. I say definitely. There is craft out there. And then when a story like this comes along, it's almost like, oh, this is absolutely manna from heaven, you know? And it's easy for me to kind of lose sight of the fact of who's telling me and their reliability, you know? Confirmation bias.
Well,
and
you
it's
know what it
something we
is, Kevin?
suffer from every topic. And I was hoping to get further down the line and then get into this, but no, this is what it's about, man. However, that being said, we don't tell people what to think. So there's various ways we can look at all this going on, because it's not just this story.
But I kind of equate us these days to people with Stockholm syndrome, or better yet, since you like to use the term soy boy a lot. Yeah, I'm thinking more along the lines of like, we're all battered wives, dude. We're all battered wives. We just keep going back to our abuser.
Yeah, it's true.
It truly is, man.
It really is.
Look at this, dude. The Pentagon. Yeah.
Why is that though, Joe? Why do you think that is?
Well, let's see. It says here the Pentagon, this is New York Post. The Pentagon has finally uttered the words it always avoided when discussing the possible existence of
hang on, Joe. You're being like the mainstream of 5 years ago here. You're just missing the XFiles music. You've got to read it out at least semi-seriously, right? No. Come on, man. Come on.
And admits that it still investigates reports of them. In a statement provided exclusively to the Post, a Department of Defense spokesman said a secret government initiative called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program did pursue research and investigation into unidentified aerial phenomena. And while the DoD says it shut down the AATIP, a AA tip, in 2012, spokesman Christopher Sherwood acknowledged that the department still investigates claimed sightings of alien spacecraft. It says here the Department of Defense is always concerned about maintaining positive identification of all aircraft in our operating environment, as well as identifying any foreign capability that may be a threat to the homeland, Sherwood said. The department would continue to investigate through normal procedures reports of unidentified aircraft encountered by U.S. military aviators in order to ensure defense of the homeland and protect against strategic surprise by our nation's adversaries. Now, Nick Pope, who secretly investigated UFOs for the British government during the 1990s, called the DoD's comments a bombshell revelation. Pope, a former UK defense official turned author, said previous official statements were ambiguous and left the door open to the possibility that AA tip was simply concerned with next-generation aviation threats from aircraft, missiles, and drones, as skeptics claim. But this new admission makes it clear that they really did study what the public would call UFOs. And it also shows the British influence, because UAP was a term used in the Ministry of Defense to get away from the pop culture baggage that came with the term UFO. Now, John Greenwald Jr., whose website, The Black Vault, archives declassified government documents on UFOs, reports Bigfoot sightings and other subjects, also called the Pentagon's use of the term unidentified aerial phenomenon unprecedented in its frankness. It's amazing how people get so wrapped up in the language, Kev, isn't it? I mean, how powerful are those words? Look at, they used what?
Well, here's the thing, right? You're ex-Navy, and of course, recently they changed the way that they say that things, unidentified flying objects, or as we're now to call them, and, you know, we'd pointed to this a while ago. It was Clyde Lewis I'd first heard saying it, but unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now, military, right? You see something unidentified in the sky, I mean, you're obviously going to have to report that, right? It's a no-brainer. And they're not just taking these reports and looking at it and going, right, this guy's off his head and throwing it away, because there's potential for that to be enemy tech, enemy stealth stuff going on. That's the first thing the military will be thinking of. So to me, there's always unidentified things in the sky, and they've always been investigated.
Right. Absolutely. Ain't no doubt.
And that doesn't mean they're alien. You know, they're just being investigated. After that, whatever comes of it, you know, that's when you decide.
How much of it, though, is us? You know?
You'd probably.
I mean, just look at the drones. I mean, those might be unidentified.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of those, not only can they be pretty big in nature. I mean,
and Joe, John, they could be ours. Lockheed Martin, DARPA, they could be testing something. They're not telling the whole of the armed forces that they're testing new secret tech. Do you know what I mean? So again, that's unidentified. Doesn't make it otherworldly, but you still have to keep your mind open to craft that may be coming here from further afield out in the galaxy, beyond or interdimensionally, because we don't know. We can't definitively say there's nothing that could be coming here. Yes.
Exactly. It's funny because XFiles, you remember how they ended that the season, the latest season of XFiles? And it just speaks to, what kind of tech do we actually have?
Exactly.
And that we don't know about, and that we're using on our own people. And I look at like some of the testing that took place, and remember, folks, that the church committee exposed all of the testing, or a lot of the testing that happened with like MK Ultra, the sterilization experimentation on the projects, like the Ivor complex in the St. Louis area. Where they basically chemtrailed the projects in a big sterilization experiment. I mean, no one gave consent to that. They just went and they sprayed our own people. They did it in the subway systems of New York City. We'll just test this to, see how people respond. They do these chemical attack drills where they actually simulate by putting real gas in the chamber and into the subway system. I mean, these are things they do, in the name of peace and safety. We're doing it for your safety. That's why we're sterilizing all these poor people.
Or could it just be time? Have we grown up, Joe? Are they really going to tell us the truth for the first time ever? The Pentagon,
Yeah, because they have a history of that, don't they?
I wouldn't see the benefits of them telling us something like that, because it might give away the secrets of free energy.
Yeah.
They couldn't risk that unless they knew what they were releasing in the first place.
Let's go through a brief history of the last 20 years, like the Pentagon, and things, right? So September 10th, 2001, there's Donald Rumsfeld. Well, we just don't know where this $3.2 trillion came from or went.
Exactly.
But what we're going to do? We're going to look into it, and we're going to find out. And by the way, it's going to be in that part of the Pentagon right there. That's where they're going to do it. They're going to investigate it right there. September 11th, missile goes in, blows up all the evidence.
Well, let me just interject here then, Joe, right? We know the Pentagon, they play games, they lie, they do things. You type in just Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
And two of the top stories are about this UFO thing. One of them's about, see, this is the thing, it could also be, this release of information. They know that all the mainstream are running with it. And we know the mainstream put things out for a reason. And you hear people talking about distractions all the time. And you look at what's going on in the Middle East, stuff like that. It could absolutely be timed to, cause a bit of confusion, take people's eyes off what's happening, troops getting ready to move. Crazy stuff, man.
I remember Reagan addressing the United Nations and saying, well, what the world needs is a common foe. And wouldn't it be one of those, like amazing things if there was an alien threat that unified the country or unified the world against that common threat? And you look at the technology and how our holographic technology has advanced. I mean,
look at the thing you played on
beyond. Yeah, that the dragon at the opening day of South Korean baseball.
And Whitney Houston's going on a holographic tour next year, I think.
I mean, they've been doing that for a long time. They have refined this technology. And it is, I'm telling you, you can't tell the difference.
Nuts. Yeah, that thing is nuts. It's crazy how real
I don't know if that's I don't know if that was like actually literally projected or if it's augmented reality, but it doesn't really matter. The fact is that you have the ability now to dupe people into thinking that we can be invaded by something or whatever, and then utilize our weapons technology against our own people. You don't even know if that's a real alien invasion that's going on.
New World Order, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's nuts.
Look, think of another way as well, right? That's definitely in play. That's one for me that's on the table. You know, that global crisis they need for that global solution, global government, definitely. Right. But I said to you as well, you know, we often talk about AI. We love looking at AI, and we open up portals to other parallel realities, other dimensions. And what if when that qubits are going through into these other parallel dimensions, you know, they're literally communicating with perhaps an AI that is in one of them. And it's almost like a light bulb going off, Joe. And it's almost as if you've come of age. So maybe, just maybe, because of our advancements in technology, maybe it's getting to the point where if there is anything out there, and there has been reports that they've been communicating with them, whether they're real or not over the years, if they have been here, you'd have to imagine it's governments they're contacting, right? So who honestly knows, dude? I would
imagine that would be the representatives or something of that nature, but...
And again, this is all speculation. We're just kind of playing kind of conspiracy toss the ball here, you know?
But why on earth would you even... See, I just don't know why it is that we need the government to give us confirmation for something that I think there's enough evidence out there to speak to the affirmative that we're not alone. Period. I mean, it just, we're not alone. So I can't, I don't know why it takes government confirmation that they're investigating this stuff. Who gives a rat's patoot?
Yeah, but like you said at the start, it is a good symptom of Stockholm Syndrome. And, you know, it has to be a warning for people as well. You know, people out there, they do want to believe, as the XFiles said. And when they see something like this, the same as when they see questionable videos over on YouTube, because they want to believe it, it ticks the biases. And I just like to give people the warning, just keep an open mind here. And like Joe says, you have to be very wary of the source that it's coming from when they have a proven track record. But at the same time, don't rule something else out we haven't thought of. Because
here's the thing, dude. I would have to think that any alien, if they had any intention of destroying us, they would have done it already. Because if they have the capability of coming here and doing that,
but you're thinking the way we do. You're thinking the way we do. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, right? But I'm just saying they probably possess the technology for that to have happened. So if it is destructive in nature, I would tend to believe it would be us doing it to ourselves. That's all I'm saying.
What about Joe? What about the actual aliens are here to help us instead of destroy us?
That's absolutely plausible as well. You know, if you're willing to...
Who's telling us that these aliens are here to actually help? I mean, destroy us or destroy humanity?
Yeah,
maybe
right.
They are the key. Maybe they are the key to, you know, the human beings continuing, you know, throughout this life.
Yeah, like you know, the other thing, Kev, to maybe ponder, since we're speculating. Let's go way out.
That's what Freaky Fridays are for, dude. I'm trying to get you to go off the range here, man.
I'm going way out. So of course, we know that the sun is going into a period of extreme quiet. It in turn is having effects on our planet. One of the main effects being the magnetic field is weakening and weakening rapidly. As it weakens, as the shields drop, and I have to imagine because of its magnetic nature, it's acting as a shield from a lot of things.
Like a cloaking device.
Right. So now if the shields drop and we are on the radar, I would have to imagine that just like it said in the days of Noah, so will it be. the coming of the Son of Man, that we would be seeing a return of the fallen ones. And if we see a return of them, that can't be good because it wasn't good last time, you see. That's all I'm saying.
This is what it's all about on a Freaky Friday, dude. I've been trying to get you to go off the range, man.
It out there. And maybe this government recognition is oh, shite. Well, we might as well put something out there to say that we did say something, but...
I mean, what is it, Voyager? It left the solar system so long ago and things. I mean, who honestly knows what we're seeing out there? And I tell you what, they can't just go from denying it stone blank to the next day going, by the way, folks, on this date, we're going to have aliens turning up. And they've been real, and we've been knowing about them all along. And here, it couldn't work that way. And I've got Ike coming on, and he talks about that.
Dude, I can't wait.
Yeah, but he talks about this, Joe. They can't, governments won't, go from A to Z in one step. It's too much for people. They can't cope. People would melt down, right? So you drip feed
Definitely.
You drip feed stories along the way. So you go back to 2017 when the Pentagon first started releasing videos, A-tip, like you say. And since then, it's almost like a steady build-up. So I don't know, maybe they're telling us the truth. A lot of it will be the truth because the best disinfo is mixed in with truth. So I don't know. What do you think, John? What do you think?
I don't know. It's tough because, like I said, the government controls the way we think, and it's been embedded in our heads since we were little. Just like you mentioned about the whole UFO thing, just to touch that subject again, because, like I mentioned, who knows what they're really here for? Who told us exactly what they're here for? And then like the government itself just pretty much controls us in the way we see things, our media, our everything. I don't know. It's mind-boggling.
It is, and remember, folks, we're speculating here. I'm not sitting here claiming I've got any secret insider or I'm getting whisked out.
Baloney, dude.
No, I'm not getting whisked out my bed, and I'm not getting. I'm not speaking to any green.
He's speaking to V.
No green hedgehogs or anything out there by Alpha.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Speaking to V from the underground Rockefeller government secret lab.
The cloning center.
50E2.
Area 52. Area 33, dude.
No, that's too obvious.
Oh, come on, man. You know how we can trigger people with numbers and things in the conspiracy. Come on.
It's where they keep the secret formula for the square sausage.
That'd be the ultimate Mandela effect to play on me. One day I wake up and it's like triangle sausage and people are looking at me going, but it's always been triangle sausage.
It wouldn't be just you. It wouldn't be just you.
Who knows, dude? Who knows? But
be me. I would be unaffected by your square sausage conundrum.
So, folks, just do me a favor, right? Just keep your eyes open, whether you like the UFO topic or not. Just keep your eyes open for new stories coming from that authoritative figure, because that's when you have to have your spidey senses on. When governments are telling you things, there's shit going on in the background, or there's something afoot. So keep your minds open, and yes, hopefully the Nordics will be here sometime soon.